a fantastical realm. The Lotus Sutra is one of the most influential of all Buddhist texts. Its story is portrayed in truly epic proportions on a vast cosmic canvas. Rich and fantastical imagery abound, including a multitude of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas with transcendental powers, mythical creatures, bejeweled towers, fearsome demons, and heavenly beings. Beyond this cast of exotic characters, we find allegorical stories providing Buddhist teachings, burning houses, ornate carriages, magically conjured cities, and precious jewels. Central to this multiplicity of imagery is the magnificent ceremony in the air and its treasure tower. In the 11th chapter of the Lotus Sutra, a gigantic tower covered in precious objects and jewels erupts from the earth. Seated within the tower is Many Treasures Buddha, who promises to appear wherever the Lotus Sutra is preached. Heavenly offerings rain down in approval, and Shakyamuni Buddha uses his transcendental powers to bring forth a multitude of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, raising them up in the air to see the treasure tower opened and revealed. Our modern understanding. It is still common in SGI meetings for lecturers to refer to the Lotus Sutra as the penultimate teaching produced by Shakyamuni Buddha and his highest creed, his final masterpiece after 40 years of instruction. And yet, a cursory glance at the evidence paints a very different picture. Before looking at the research, let us consider one point which is patently obvious when one reads the sutra. The stories are fantastical and imaginary. How could Shakyamuni extend his tongue across the universe? How could heavenly gods suddenly appear as a giant jeweled stupa broke from the earth? For the faithful in the first millennium of the Common Era, these powerful images may have seemed a true record of the past, yet to even a child in our current world, they are clearly works of fiction created to illustrate a point. Daisaku Ikeda affirms in The Wisdom of the Lotus Sutra that events described in the sutra are not factual, but that they represent aspects of an enlightened life. It is also acknowledged that when they speak of the stories as if they are real, Ikeda and the study department members do so only for the sake of convenience. Nichiren too saw the Lotus Sutra in allegorical terms, something we will return to. The oldest surviving version of the Lotus Sutra dates from 286 CE and is a Chinese translation of the original Sanskrit. Evidence of earlier Sanskrit forms exist from the great Mahayana sage Nagarjuna, who mentions it extensively in approximately the 2nd to early 3rd century CE. In Ikeda's early work, Buddhism, the First Millennium, he acknowledges studies that indicate the Lotus Sutra could not have come into existence any earlier than the 1st century BCE. In both this work and in the 1990s The Wisdom of the Lotus Sutra, Ikeda affirms his belief in a direct connection between Shakyamuni and the Mahayana Sutras, but he sees further academic research as appropriate and that, regardless of the outcome of historical research, the profound essence of the Lotus Sutra could not be tarnished.